One picture. Fox. I went to MGM for one picture. Thank goodness, only one. And when I got there with my mother, we were separated. She went into the office of Louis B. Mayer, and I went into the office of Arthur Freed. He was going to talk to me about a movie he wanted to put me in. I'm 12 years old, you know. And I thought he was a producer, but instead he was an exhibitor. And I'd never seen anyone naked before, except myself. So I had no clue about what was happening. So it struck me so funny, I laughed at him. And I laughed uproariously. I had tears, you know, and he got infuriated. And he said, out, 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 go.
Did you tell your mother?
Well, I was very quiet. I went down and met her in the lobby of the administration building. She came out very quietly from Louis B. Mayer's office, and we walked hand in hand silently to the car, which was unusual. We got in the car driving home. I said, Mom, you won't believe what happened to me. And I told her what happened, and she got kind of quiet, and she said, well, you don't know what happened to me. Louis B. Mayer wasn't as bad as Freed was to me. He came on to my mother. And so we both decided that we didn't like MGM much. It was better at Fox. When I left Fox, I went to MGM.
I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ra, Kwakadash. Salutations to the elders, the bishops and apostles, and the brothers who are laboring in truth. Salutations to the brothers who around the world who's putting in the work, and to you sincere sisters who are doing the work diligently, loving your children, loving your husband, loving the Most High, and loving Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, doing the best you can. So we just seen a short clip from an actor where she's exposing Hollywood industry, where, you know, she thought maybe because she's a kid and, you know, she'll be put in a film and it's all good. But when it comes to Esau society, where he thrives at because he makes the rules because of his captivity, right? No one don't expect to just go in and just be themselves and do a movie and that's that. No. When you come into Hollywood, right, it's a form of sacrifice. And there's many forms of sacrifice what you know that you have to do, or put yourself in, or get exposed, or be exposed rather, and to see if the person's down with it. If they're down with it, then you know, okay, we got one. Everyone, let them do what they got to do, etc., etc. So to make a long story short, this former actor said that at MGM, the same MGM that have big arenas in Las Vegas and numerous of places, where we thinking that these people going to talk only and just shake hands. They're not doing that. You got to get down with them. You got to get down with them. Okay? Esau is a profane bastard. Esau is a profane individual where he's going to make things difficult for you. There's nothing free in this life. There's nothing free in this life. Okay? And she is exposing to these guys that's the main owners of this agency, right? This filming production company. And she's not the only one that went through it. There's countless of children that went through this as the years went on. No one's not saying anything. The police don't do anything. You know why? Because they all work together hand in hand. They're all corrupt. They're all wicked. They don't get judged for it. But Yahweh will get the last say so. Okay, these people are predators. These people do all sorts of things. Right? And it's just foul, man. It's just foul. It's ultimately foul. Okay? Let's read Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So he sold his birthright because he wanted something quick and fast, meaning he's a sellout. He didn't honor or care what the Most High was trying to do. All right? He didn't show no kind of respect from himself, man. He didn't have no respect for anything. So he wanted to do what he wanted to do. So that lets you know right then and there, he's a sellout. He wanted to sell out to have. And so the same thing that he did from the beginning, that's what he's doing to us in his captivity. He's making us sell out. How? By slime dogging our own people, by corrupting our own people, by stabbing our own people in the back. You know what I'm saying? He put us against one another. Okay? For anybody that went into this Hollywood industry business, just know that they have been the same situation like this young lady had. And they've been exposed. Now, there's levels to certain things that I can't explain, but the testimonies that people have explained for being in this industry is very sad, man. Very, very sad. Okay? Verse 17, for ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. So he sought it carefully with tears. Okay? Right? But there's no one more profane person than Esau. He's a perverse, profane bastard on this earth, man. So he has done a lot of things, to disrupt and cause chaos. He's a kleptomaniac. Okay, he's a narcissistic, patrolling pantheon. That's what he is, man. He's a beast of the earth. He's very, very defiled. And anyone that shakes hands with this man and makes a covenant with this man, just know that he's not a person to be trusted. Yes, we work for the industries and agencies on an everyday basis, or the city agencies for Esau, right? We sign contracts, but there's a certain level to it, okay? So when you really look at it, so to speak, we all could be bloodshed to Esau. But since the grace of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, he will deliver us from that wickedness soon to come to this earth, man. Because the Lord will visit this earth, and everything that was perverse, demonic, he's going to destroy, and he's going to fulfill the prophecy that's in hand. Because the Lord truly loves us, man. That's why he sent Yahushua for us, man. For us, okay. Yahushua is the author, man. Okay. He has a lot of authority, and Yahushua will get this thing done. It's already been done. He already won the spiritual war. But we got to keep going through it because we got to fight, man, because the prophecy has not been fulfilled. That's like, for instance, you having a race. Or let's say let's say you're running a marathon. You're running, and there's 300 contestants. And within that marathon, 295 contestants have completed the course. But the race is not over because that 5 have to finish, or whatever, right? Or they say the last 4 got to finish, depending on the rules of that contest. So those last 5, they're going hard to say, now I gotta win, because if they're saying 4 of us are only gonna make it, what's gonna happen to the other one? You're gonna not get no prize. So everyone's getting a prize except for the last one. Let's just say that's the rules, right? So you're constantly going. You're fighting. All right? So you gotta endure to the end, right? I'm sorry, guys. Hold on, guys. Yeah, so you constantly fighting to the very end. Why? Because you want to make sure that you receive that inheritance and that blessing, right, from that competition. And in the spiritual warfare we're going in, you want to fight the good fight. You want to keep going to the very end to get your inheritance and your blessings to receive the kingdom. Okay? So when you see these type of things, man, don't be surprised, man. She's only telling what she experienced. So she's saying that while she was in one room with one guy, this guy, he's dealing with children in a certain type of manner. Then the other guy, he gets the mother and deal with her in a certain type of manner. You see what they do? So they rock the house with both, because they know women are vulnerable. She haven't once mentioned where's her father, where's the wife husband. He probably left him because he didn't want to deal with that BS. You know? I don't want my children involved in this entertainment world. You know? But sometimes things happen and you see what the end result of all these celebrities. They always lose their life. Or you speak out too much, they got to come destroy you, because they have people from their families. Once you start talking about them, they come to end your life. Because you sign a contract, you cannot expose, tell, you cannot break the oath, none of that. Once you do that, they're coming for you. How they come for you? They tarnish your image. They come to freeze your accounts. They destroy your livelihood. Then they'll say that you did this and that in the tabloids and the papers to make you look crazy, that you're bug out. Then they come arrest you. Then you do the time for some unnecessary BS. Then when you come out, they have someone to come destroy you. So that's what they do. They make you go through a roller coaster of disrespect, and they don't care about your life. That's why I tell people, man, get away from this type of lifestyle. There's only 2 ways out of that lifestyle. It's only death or jail. People only think that going in the streets is only going to the streets only death and jail. It's the same way with all these wicked industries. It's none but death or jail. Especially at this type of industry, because they're dealing with spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay? You got this guy, okay, fondling and doing things that he ain't supposed to be doing with the young people coming in this industry. You know, I'm trying to keep it clean because YouTube is a very, very, you know, once they hear you say certain words, it triggers their system. Okay? So, and this is what goes on in these type of industries, man. So you hear countless of testimonies and stories from people, man. All right? But anyway, I'm going to keep it short. You know, so you know, Esau, like I said, he's profane and he's sick, man. Okay, he's a sick individual. So with that being said, you know, let me read 15 to 18. I said 15, look diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of Yahweh, lest any root of bitterness spring up, trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. So, you know, You know, you don't want that grace to fall from you, you know, from Yahweh, man. You don't want that grace to fall from Yahweh by Shem Shai. So, and we cannot go to the Father without Yahweh Shai, man. You know, he's the ultimate savior to get us to point A to point B. We can't get to the Father without him. We have to say Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, without him, we are nothing. We can't go to the Father. We can't do nothing, man. The Father's not going to hear us, man. We got to go through Yahweh Shai. Let Yahweh Shai speak on our behalf. And we respect him. Because he's the only one that can get us out of this madness, okay? Let's go to verse 18. For ye are not come unto the mount that might be touched, and that burn with fire, nor unto. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so these things are very serious, man. Okay? And people will do anything they will in their power to destroy you, man. You know, if you allow them. And it's just so sad when you see guys like Gary Coleman, some of these Disney kids that's all grown up now, like Nick Cannon and all of them. I'm not saying them particularly, I don't know. But you see a lot of these Disney kids and these MGM kids at this time that grew up under this entertainment high life. I mean, you know, Jaleel White and the Olsen twins, and I mean, the list goes on and on and on, man, with these children, man. What's the other guy? He's from Brooklyn, man. Little short actor, man. He's from Brooklyn. Oh my goodness. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. So I was trying to get the name. His name was Emmanuel Lewis. He was from Brooklyn. You know, he did a couple films. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them had exposed the industry, man, and told us what it was, man. Raven Simone, you know, all these, you know, black children, man, went through hardship, man. You know what I'm saying? Or got turned out. They got turned out to drugs, got turned out into other type of activities, you know, whatever. But anyway, but guys, you know, just know that Esau is profane, man. He's not to be trusted. You don't do anything with him, you know. Let me go to Psalms. I think it was Psalms 55. 55, let's see. 20. Yeah, it's Psalm 55 and 18. Yahweh shall hear and afflict them, even he that about of old, Salah, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not Yahweh. Verse 20. He have put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. So it's about Esau. Esau, it doesn't matter if he's young or old, and you know they're not going to change. They're wicked. So the Lord got a judgment coming for them. And people, they make a covenant and they break their covenant, they break their promise, man. They don't keep their promise, they lie. Okay? Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, right? So his words are manipulative, okay? But war was in his heart. But actually he had some kind of strife and contention in his mind, okay? That's what he's really thinking. His words were salt and oil. So his words were salt and oil, meaning he got the gift of the gab to talk and trick you to believe in in what he wants you to believe, okay? All right, yet were they drawn swords, but yet he really had his true intention was to come at you. Okay, so it was all a trap, you know, trap. So you can't believe in him, okay? Verse 22, cast thy burden upon the Lord. So our duty is to cast our burden to the Lord, okay, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. So if you're righteous in the eyes of the Lord and you're doing what the Lord is telling you to do, you're not going to have that issue. You're not going to go through those problems. Not saying you won't face problems, but you won't be touched by these evil, wicked men, okay? Verse 23, but thou, O power, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. So the Lord going to bring these people into the pit of destruction. Okay, bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. So let's go for Esau primarily, but it's also go for the nation of Israel. Because you got a lot of our young men dying early, man, because they don't even live half their days, man, because they so evil and so wicked, and the Lord visited them and destroyed them, man. He just said it, okay? Bloody and deceitful men. So we got a lot of men that live for bloodshed and die, man. And Esau, he does that. He shed the blood of these people, but sometimes the Lord let them live to a certain way to judge them a hard judgment, man. Give them a terrible judgment, man. Okay, so sometimes that happens, man. You know, but sometimes the Lord's okay. Well, I will let you live to this point, and then when you die, then that's it. You're getting ready for slavery. All right. So with that being said, I hope the video was edifying. Shalom.